family. If you're in or near Columbia, South Carolina, you've got to visit the House of Hathor, located at 6319 North Main Street. Open Tuesday through Saturday, it's your one-stop shop for African clothing, African masks, natural soaps, incense, candles, jewelry, and more. Plus, they've got a beautiful event space. Owned and operated by Baba Ruttaskhi and Mama Neterma Canute. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the culture. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the movement. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the people.
The Uhuru Academy overall is an amazing school from the teacher to the students. Is a place where kids can build their confidence and learn how to write, read, type, all of that good stuff. We learn our history here. We honor our ancestors, so we learn about who we are and where we come from, and I really enjoy this about this school. And like everybody's pretty much saying, it's a safe space, and we can always be able to feel like we can open up to our classmates and our teachers. So that's what I love.
I love the environment and that they promote not being afraid to ask for help.
Something positive about the Uhuru Academy is this is a safe space, and you can be able to say whatever you want to say without being embarrassed, just like how Amani said. I've been able to, sometimes I can be shy talking around people, but y'all have taught me not to be shy and everything. This is a very good school. The part that I love about this is when we do ancestor reverence and African history.
I think this is the greatest school I've ever went to because you teach me about my history, and at the other schools they never taught me one thing about my history. They just taught, the only black people they talked about at my other schools were Carter G. Woodson, Martin Luther King, and I think that's it. So you guys helped me learn my true history.
Let's go here. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Let's see, Bob, if I got you on here yet. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, you
going
do.
on. Oh yeah, man, you in this thing.
Yes.
You are in this thing, man. How you
Yes.
doing, Baba?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Every day is a new day.
All right. About black man. Hold up. Let me give you an early. Let me just give you an early. Let me see what I got here. Let me give you an early applause. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. There you
every
go.
every day is a new day, you know, and it's a new opportunity to be great, a new opportunity to get out here and make a difference in this world, man. And I love it, Bob. I love it. I love getting to wake up every day and making an
That's right.
impact on our
That's
community. You know what I'm saying? And I
That's right.
know you do, as the proprietor, along with your beautiful wife, of the House of Hathor, you know, located at 6319 North Main Street, by the way, here in
Yes.
Columbia. You know what I'm saying? You all get to get up every day and make an
Every
impact
day
in the community, man. That's a
in the
beautiful
community.
thing. That's
That
a
is
beautiful thing.
that is the design that has been given to us.
I say.
Yeah.
And then with myself and my beautiful wife and Koyo, every day we
Oh
get
yeah.
up, with the Uhuru Academy, and we have the
That's
opportunity to do something great and impactful for our community each and every day, working with children all over the country and in Africa. The beautiful campus here at UASC International, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to do what we do every day, and the ancestors and the creator to sustain us. I'm walking in so much gratitude right now, Baba, that if you could just
look.
briefly bring us in by honoring
I,
the ancestors.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
I want to first say when the spirit uses the institution of the Uhuru Academy and the industry
Mm,
of the House of Half,
come on now.
we're talking about where you can become educated as well as where we can create.
I say, I
It's a
say,
perfect marriage together. And the ancestors, as they continue to nurture us and to protect us and cleanse us of all negative energies that surrounds us,
right.
as they continue to break all work of negative energies that's against us,
I say,
as they continue to take away from us all envy, evil, bad luck, and invincible enemies,
I
and
say,
that they bring protection, peace, and prosperity, not only in our lives, but in the lives of our families, our
right.
homes,
Come on.
our institutions, and our industries, and our community.
Right,
Ashe.
right. I say. That's what I'm
Yes,
talking about. Shout out to some family. I be before Hodier, Efok, they call them the Efok twins, you know what I'm saying? But Efok Malia Makandal, you know what I'm saying? In the chats,
yes.
shout out to him, you know what I'm saying, and the whole family, you know what I'm saying, down there in Florida. I'll be before Hodier race first. Shout out to my sister Nuru Fulami, longtime supporter and member of the family out of Texas, by way of
Yes,
St. Louis, I believe. And she say, "Peace, black men." I just saw the movie and she's ready for a review. She's like,
yes.
"Let's get it in, right? Let's get
Let's
it in."
get it in.
You know what
Let's
I'm
get it
saying?
in.
And I'm looking forward to tonight as well. Wait, before we even get into that, shout out to the whole team at the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom
Juneteenth
Fest.
Freedom
Right,
Fest.
right, going
Yes,
down, y'all. This Saturday, June 21st, 2025. Y'all see it going across the screen. Downtown Columbia, free admission. Go to JuneteenthFreedomFest.com. Look, if you ever had a reason to visit Columbia, South Carolina, the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom
this is
Fest
the
is
time.
it,
This is
man.
the time.
This is the time.
Yeah.
We got family coming in from all over the country. It's
Ashe.
gonna be great, y'all. We got the
Yes.
parade that morning, Saturday morning, leading right into the festival. Shout out to the whole team: Jamal Bradley, Tina
Tina
Torres,
Torres.
Keywan. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to us, Baba. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
On the
Yeah, we
team.
on there too.
We on the
We on
team
the
too,
team
y'all.
too.
We on the
We on the
team too,
team.
right? And we're
Yeah.
looking forward to celebrating our culture, celebrating our history, honoring our youth with the Juneteenth Youth Leadership Awards, honoring
That's
our
right.
elders with the Juneteenth Elder Commemoration. We're looking forward to
Okay.
our National
Okay.
Recording Artist Surface and Cut Close and
Changing
Changing
faces.
Faces, right? And
Yeah.
so we're looking forward to the mini college fair. Midlands
That's
Tech
right.
is gonna be out there. Benedict College is going to be out there. So
That's right.
there's going to be a kids zone for the children, and all the food you can eat downtown Columbia. Had to go ahead and plug the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom
Yes.
Fest
And
as we
shade.
got
And
started.
a lot of shade this time.
A lot of shade this
A
time,
lot of
y'all. We
shade this
found a
time.
street with trees.
That's right.
A lot of shade. Last year we
That's
was in
right.
the air fryer. We was in the
Yeah, we were. Yes, we
we
were.
was right.
Roasted and
Yeah.
fried.
Hey, I learned stuff about myself last year. It was so hot. I learned new stuff about me.
Hey,
I'm like,
I learned a smidgen about what I went through.
yeah, right. Just a little
Yeah.
bit. Right.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
Yeah.
bit, man. Like,
Just a
whoo,
little bit.
Claude have mercy. Our ancestors was strong. All right.
They were
Yeah,
strong.
man. But it was on. It was a great event. This is the ninth annual, right? Ninth annual.
Yeah.
We talking consistency, and it's an
There
honor to
you
be a
go.
part of it, y'all. It's an honor to be a
That's
part
right.
of it. That South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. All right, y'all.
That's
Tonight we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna talk about the movie centers, right?
Yeah.
And it's taken the world by storm. You know, it's a film. It's directed by Ryan Coogler. So far, the film is grossing hundreds of millions of dollars worldwide.
That's right.
It was
That's
not anticipated that they did not anticipate that it would be this successful. Um,
impact.
uh,
That's right.
and impactful, right? And
Yeah.
impactful. I knew we were going to go out to see it as a community, right? But wow, right? I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything like this since the Black Panther movie came out. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying?
That's
And
right.
and and
That's right.
and you know the difference being this time though, it's a black film. It's a black
It is a
Hollywood
black
film.
thing.
Ryan Coogler, matter of fact, made a deal. The deal that he got with this film is not unprecedented, but it's the type of deal that only tenured old white filmmakers generally get. And in
Okay.
that he actually, after 25 years of this film being out here, he actually gets 100% ownership of it. Right,
Okay.
which is huge because we call it the movie business, the music business, the entertainment business, but it's really the
Right.
intellectual property business.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
the money
Yeah.
revolves around who owns the property, not necessarily
That's
who
right.
creates it, but who
Yeah.
owns it. And not only
That's
is
right.
Ryan Coogler getting a portion of ticket sales,
Yeah.
he's also getting 100% ownership after 25 years. That's huge. When you think about a movie like Gone with the Wind that people have been watching for over 100 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's a
I do.
huge, that's huge for the legacy for his family and things like that. So I just wanted to bring that out as well. A lot of you seen it already, so it ain't gonna be no spoilers. If you ain't seen it by now, look,
Yeah.
the cat's out the bag.
You on your own.
You on your own. Your cousin
You
that
on
talked
your
too
own.
much and I already told you what the ending was
That's
like
right.
and everything. So
Every YouTube channel that's out there
right,
already has
right,
given
right,
their
right, right. It's
description.
been 9,000 reviews on
That's
this
right.
film. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
that's
so
right.
we're not coming in just to repeat anything that anybody else is saying. You may hear something similar, but we want to give us perspective tonight, Baba, not only of some of the things we saw in the film, but we also want to give a perspective of how many Hollywood tropes, right, that were
Yeah.
violated, right, like how
Right.
many times, you know, what did we see in the film that we don't usually see in Hollywood, quote
Right.
unquote, black films, right? Some of
That's
the cultural symbolism that we seen and that we
yeah.
saw
Yeah.
in the film as well, right? But we
That's right.
also
That's
want to
right.
talk about the plight or the journey of black independent filmmakers and the importance of us telling our own story tonight, you know.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and to that
Yeah.
end, we're going to have a special guest that's going to come in a few, brother Gerard Photo Brown of the Digibees. He's the director of Mosiah the movie, the first ever narrative film about Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So we're going to get his perspective tonight as well. I mean, come on, this the first majority. You know, we got to
That's right.
bring in an
We got to
actual
bring out.
filmmaker, black
There you go.
filmmaker, to
That's right.
get his perspective because they
That's
see things that those of us as casual viewers may
that's
not
right.
see. Right. And
That's
so
right.
I'm really looking forward to him coming in. But before we do that, Bob, rumor is you and the wife done seen it about 2 times.
We have we as a matter of fact, we just saw it again last night.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
And
we
I
saw it
can't go
again
too
last
hard on y'all because I have to. We have
There
to.
you go. There
We
you
went to
go.
see this twice, and a lot of time, most movies don't get repeat visits. It's usually if you
No.
get the one, use this Fire Stick or
Yeah. That's right.
yeah,
And
we
believe you me, we're waiting on that too.
yeah, right, right. So use this Fire Stick. It ain't even going to the theater, you know. But
That's
we
right.
went to the theater to see this, and not only were we captivated by it the first time, we went
That's
back to
right.
see it again, and y'all
That's right.
did too. So, Bob, I'm
Yes.
really interested in what stood out for you in this film. What's pressing on your mind to share about your experience with this film? How did you feel about it? What are some of the things that you saw?
I saw a lot, but there are
Hmm.
certain things that stuck out to me that that reflected upon us as a people, our principles, our values,
Hmm.
and the interests that we continue to live upon. You know, when we're talking about family, when we're talking about spiritual guidance, when we're talking about the internal essence of what we are.
Mm.
You know, it's not about it's not about the the vessel itself. But what it's about the internal essence of what we are as spiritual beings
Mm.
having human experiences.
So
And
yeah, this is
it
definitely a spiritual film. That you
it is.
see African spirituality in this film, and
That's right.
one of the tropes I think that I noticed immediately was African spirituality was a hero in the film,
It
not the
was a
villain.
hero. That's right. That's right. It was
Right.
the hero.
Hmm.
That's right. Because if it wasn't for the African spirituality that was in it, all else would have been lost.
Right. Right. Right.
It did
Right.
the battle for the rest of the people.
I say, you know,
And then it also revealed that our true selves as spiritual beings, it is the higher self that we always matriculate to, not the lower self.
mm,
And
mm,
that's what the movie revealed to me, as well as using the instruments that summons the spirit to be a part of everything that we're doing.
mm, I say,
How do we use the tools that have been given to us? How do we use the tools that we don't necessarily reflect upon? We don't really see it as a tool or an instrument until we're called upon to bring the spirit into all things that are in existence. And
I say,
you saw that reflection on the and I can't remember the young lady's name that she actually wore the Ogun necklace
She
as
had, yeah,
well
she had
as
a Eleke zone.
she had her
Uh-huh.
elite on,
Mm-hmm.
and she also protected the brothers from whatever harm that they could have gone through when they
Right.
was in Chicago. She
Right.
even
Right.
told him. She even told me, he asked her, "How come you couldn't protect our daughter?" She said, "I don't know, but I did protect you and your brother,
Right. Right.
and it
Right.
brought you
Right.
back to us."
Right, right, right. And
Yeah,
I love that dynamic that he challenged it, but he believed in it.
there
Right,
you go.
right. So
That's
so he challenged, but that's his job to challenge it. That's his
that's right.
job to say, okay, I've experienced this, and this. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? And if this was
yes,
so powerful, how come this happened? And she was like, how
that's right.
you know I wasn't keeping after all that you've been through, how you know I wasn't keeping you safe? And I love the honesty in saying, I don't know why I didn't work what I
I
ran.
don't know why. Yeah, that's out of my hands.
I don't know why. Instead of making excuses for it, instead of saying that somebody,
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I don't know
And
why.
sometimes because sometimes we don't know why
That's
something
right.
happens, right?
That's
And that's relevant for me because we deal with young people who've lost loved ones,
that's right.
and they wonder, man, why did it have to happen to my friend? Why did it have to happen to my brother? Why did it have to happen?
That's right.
Sometimes we don't know why. Sometimes we don't have the answer to that question,
Answer.
but we know we
Yeah,
got to get up every day and try to bring balance to this thing
that's
that
right.
we call life,
That's
right?
that's right. That's
And so I thought that was very very powerful in the film. You know what I'm saying? So good stuff.
yeah,
Now for those who haven't
yes.
seen it, right, it's a period piece, right? It's a period piece set in 1932 in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Right, Clarksdale, Mississippi, 1972, and I think I'm chopping a little bit here. I think I'm chopping a little bit here. Let me do this. Okay, okay, okay. My signal was messing up a little bit, Bob, but can you still hear me? Okay, my signal's messing up a little bit. Let me see something right quick.
But your screen is
All right, let's see. We dragging a little bit, but we're plugged directly in. All right. So I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but I'm gonna keep talking. Right. All right. Let's see here. Y'all in the chat, let me know if you can hear me.
okay. Yeah, your screen is still frozen.
Uh-huh. That may just be my camera. So let me do this because I have multiple cameras, So let me just do this.
Okay.
Boom. Right. And let's just do this. But we make corrections on the fly. If they go ahead and let me move that out the way, we could
There
be
you go.
good. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
There
that's
we
called
go.
life situation. Life
Yeah, man.
situation.
Hey, like we say, we don't always know.
There you go.
But we have to adjust, right? We have to
That's
adjust.
right. We don't know.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Sinners is a period piece, takes place in 1932, Clarksdale, Mississippi. They say the plot is actually based on Ryan Coogler's uncle, right? And it centers around a young man who grows up in the church, has a pastor father, and he's being torn between living the church, maintaining the church tradition in his family, right? And the call of
Right.
the city life, the call of the
That's right.
blues, the call of the music, which historically was a real beef within our community during that time, right? During
That's right.
that time period, secular music was often seen as the devil's music,
That's right.
right? And so
That's right.
the plot centers around this young man who has to make a pivotal decision. Which direction is he gonna go in his life, right?
That's
Right. And
Yeah.
so um, um, how many of us go through those pivotal decisions, Bob? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like that pivotal decision that it can go one way or the other, right?
The
And
That's right.
and he was torn between, do I stick here and do what my father wants me to do, or do I
That's
go
right.
after my dreams, right? Over that area that they say
That's right.
is dangerous, right? In that dynamic,
Yeah.
Papa, in that dynamic between the young man and his father versus his father, who's
Right.
a leader on this church side, then you got his two
That's right.
cousins, Stack and Smoke, who are leaders on this secular side. How do
That's
you
right.
see that dynamic working, Baba? What impact watching that dynamic? What did that bring to mind for you? And y'all excuse my video being
Well, there
choppy
was some
tonight.
special Stack even asked their cousin about him disciplining the children.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "No, my mother does the disciplining of the children." And because they knew something about his father of how he did discipline in reference to how the mother disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, and so they was concerned that something to be based on the relationship that their father had with his father, that there were
Mm.
some underlying things that had taken place, so that they can say that, well, your dad, he wasn't the most straightforward person
Right.
before. He has a past,
Right.
and they wanted to make sure that whatever that past was not in the present. And so
Ashe.
it was a short conversation they had, but it was something that was relative to even the son making the decision of going on with his own music, because the spirit was leading him to
Right.
do the music that he really wanted to. He think it was his decision, but no, that was spirit's decision to make sure that he understand, that gift that was given to him, he's supposed to use that for spiritual aspect and not secular aspect, or not religious aspect.
Oh, so you saying it's the difference between a spiritual mission and a religious mission?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It always is.
So,
Yes,
and
because see, the
that's a
spirit.
very interesting dynamic. Go ahead.
Well, because when you're living your spiritual calling, let's say the religion has to do with all trees that live in the same community, and they want all the trees to grow up a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But each of those trees have a spirit that's attached to it, that's only designed for that specific tree to live in the environment that it finds itself in.
Okay.
And so this young guy, he's supposed to use his gift of his tool that the ancestors and the spirit has given to him, use it for the betterment of associating yourself with spirit, and then let spirit guide you and not man guide you. Because
Mm.
man has a way of wanting to have control over our spirit. But
Okay.
spirit is saying, no, man can't control your spirit. Man can't control what I gave you.
Well,
That is between you and spirit.
right. I'm gonna add to that a little bit, Baba. I want to add to that a little bit because I believe that man can guide you if that man is righteous or seeking righteousness. I think that people can provide powerful examples for
I
other
agree.
people to follow, right? But in that particular dynamic, you got to ask
Yes.
yourself
Yes.
when it came to that church in that cotton field, right? Right? The theology being taught
Yeah.
in that church in that cotton field kept people in the cotton field.
That's right.
It was
Kept them in
specifically
the cotton field.
designed to
So
keep
you talking
people
about
in the cotton field,
so you so
right?
and you're talking about being the example.
Right.
Being the example. So the young brother saw that he didn't have a good example of what liberation and freedom was.
Yeah. So the
So he
liberation
had to forge
aspect
his own
wasn't
way
there.
to
Right.
find his own
Right.
freedom.
Right. But
That's right.
the
That's right.
trick is just like when our ancestors walked off the plantation, you know what I'm saying, in Galveston, Texas in 1865. The
Yeah.
trick is, what does
Right.
freedom even look like?
That's
So
right.
many walked off the plantation not knowing what to do next, right? And
That's
so
right.
you are now, you got to rely on the guidance of another person or human being. And in this case,
Yes.
you got Smoke and
Yes.
Stack that's saying, no, we know what freedom is. We've traveled the world and
Yes.
we know what freedom is,
Yeah.
and we want to share that with you, or the
With
aspects
you.
of it we
That's right.
feel that's good for you. You see what I'm saying? And so
That's
you
right.
see those two
Yeah. Yeah.
dynamics in the film, where you see a religious situation that's like, praise the Lord,
That's right.
but the overall theology is being used to keep you where you are, not
That's
to
right.
liberate you from your
That's right.
situation. But you got a young man
That's right.
who's longing to see something else and has a gift that could take him all over the world,
That's
right?
right.
But now he has to go navigate the world
That's right.
itself. And in the world, everybody ain't
That's right.
nice.
That's right. But
Right?
but now, and he also had a good foundation that was given to him also, because there are things he, of course, because he comes from a religious family, he already had the foundation that he needed to
Mm,
utilize as he saw fit.
mm-hmm.
Not and not only that, he also had the other side where he was learning about the spirituality of the gift that he had.
Right, right,
Because you have the power to not only summons the positive, but you can also summon the negative. He
right,
said, so you have to be careful about the gift that. So
right,
that was an important statement that he made to his son, but there was no other context to give him because all he came from was from a religious standpoint and not from a spiritual standpoint.
right. And from a standpoint of experience, because remember, Smoking Stack's father is his father, so he had a brother
Yeah,
that lived fast and lost his life,
that's right.
right? And so
And
he's
lost
coming
his
from
life
that
too.
as well. But I love the
Yeah,
overall lesson in the beginning of the film when they talk about how there are certain people with a gift that will penetrate
yeah,
different spiritual realms. And while
that's right.
you can use your gift to harness the energy of the ancestors and that sort of thing,
That's right.
it also
That's right.
attracts evil. There's duality in everything,
There is
right?
always
Right?
duality.
It's
That's right.
duality in everything. I think about some of the drill music and modern hip hop and the music industry and how it's being used, right? To
That's right.
not only uplift and inspire, but also to
That's right.
invite those spirits in. And I love the aspect of the
That's right.
film that says, well, those spirits have to be invited in. They can't come in on their own.
That's right.
They have to be invited.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Invite.
And I
As
thought
a
that
matter,
was empowering as well.
well, even with that, the empowerment of that is it may be when we look at the film, we're talking about the place where the house where or the building where you're trying to invite people in, and if they're good people, you invite them in, or if they're a part of your culture or your spirituality, you invite
Mm-hmm.
them in. But the other side to that is inviting someone's spirit into your vessel, your body, your
Mm-hmm.
temple.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be
Mm-hmm.
careful about who we open ourselves up to,
Right.
because if we're opening ourselves to different people, then that means that now we're giving them permission to
Right.
come into our vessel,
Okay.
and that can change a person when you're inviting somebody into the most detailed part about yourself
Mm.
without without permission.
Right. Right.
You see,
Right.
and See, so the invitation for me, what I saw was, are you important enough to me that I invite you into my life?
Hmm.
And if I make you a part of my life, that means now you're part of an inner circle that no one else gets invited into. That's
Right.
why, and even the word invite, we're talking about inside of you, that you've given someone permission to come within you. So when we get married, or when we have children, or when we have relatives or close comrades, we're inviting them into our personal life.
I
And
say.
that's what I saw about that invitation. If you're going to invite the positive, or you're going to invite the negative in.
Right.
And
Right.
you got to
Right.
be able to discern the difference between the two.
And that's the key. And sometimes, we don't always know how to discern that. And
Yeah,
that was the rite of passage that this young man was going through, learning that
yeah,
discernment. And I think that
that's right.
with the aspect, like I had homies in the neighborhood that were not older dudes, OGs, my big brothers that may have been
Right,
into something. They wouldn't let me get into it. Right,
right.
right. I
That's right.
thought
That's right.
a key part in that story was when
Okay.
Smoke was telling him, "Man, you need to go down to Mount Bayou. It's proper black folk
That's right.
down there.
That's
You
right.
you you need to go
That's
down
right.
there." He say, "Man, put that thing up." He say, "Do church music." He told him, "Get
Yeah,
down there and do that." And it was because, regardless of what may be wrong or contradictory about the church, it's better than what's going on right here. That this will eat you
right,
up,
right.
right? So
But
look
see,
at that as a choice, because this will eat you up. Of course, he's coming based on his experience. So he ended up kind of giving him the same advice that the daddy gave.
that is daddy. That's right.
But
That's
daddy
right.
didn't know where else
That's right.
he could go. Daddy wanted him to stay
That's
right
right.
there. But Smoke was like, "No, you can go do what your pop's talking
Yeah,
about, but we're building towns right now where you can go do that." Right. And
that's
just
right.
reminds us
That's
that
exactly
we should be building safe spaces. So when you say young people, don't do this, don't do that, and they say, "Well, where can I go be positive at and be safe?"
that's right.
We
That's
have
right.
to build safe spaces in order for
We
us to
do.
be our best selves.
There you go.
You,
Well,
you
let me
see
ask
what
you
I'm
this,
saying?
Bob.
So, and
I
our
never knew.
guest is here too. So go ahead, but we're gonna bring our guest in. Save that question, right? Say that
Okay.
question, and we're
Okay.
gonna bring our guest in. He's here, y'all. I'm gonna tell you something. This brother is one of the most talented photographers, artists, filmmakers, creatives that we have in our community today. He graced us with his presence last year when we had a screening during Juneteenth of Mosiah the movie. He's a longtime friend of mine, and I got to mention that I am a consultant on the film. And Mosiah the movie, just in case you don't know, is the world's first narrative film about the life of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He don't do it by himself. He has a beautiful wife. They are a team. They go by the Digi Bees. And I'm gonna bring him on right now, Bob. And we're gonna continue the conversation, but I want y'all to
Got you. Yeah.
welcome Brother Gerard Brown into the studio. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring my brother in. What's up? What's happening, black man?
What's going on? What's going on? Good to be here with you fellas.
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's an honor. It's an honor for you to grace our presence. Welcome to the First Majority Podcast.
What's going on,
Hey,
my brother?
I'm happy to be here. Hey, how's it going?
Everything is everything.
I say,
Nice.
bro.
I say.
You've been moving and shaking. I'm not in the film community. I don't know if it's normal to promote a film at the pace that you all have been pushing Mosiah the movie, but I want to just commend you on the work
Thank you.
ethic. Yeah, you know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Yeah.
Going in, there's an incredible weight to
Hmm.
being the first, and of course, being the first to tell this story of someone so revered, such an amazing representation of blackness. There's such a
Right.
weight given already. So immediately when I knew I was going to do it, it's like, okay, we gotta come hard or stay at home. Like
What they say,
you
go
gotta
hard or
you
go
gotta come with
home,
it.
huh?
Go hard or go home. Yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, this is exactly what I expect to have to do. You know what I mean? Just
Right,
good and
right.
reasonable work.
That's what I'm talking about. Y'all see me put that Mosiah, the movie, go to mosiahthemovie.com. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And,
there
and,
it
and
is.
you can check out the trailer. You can also go stream it on Amazon, can't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amazon Prime. Just look up Mosiah.
Congratulations on that too.
Thank
Congratulations
you,
on
sir.
that, man.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on
Indeed.
that. Yeah. So
You
so so Gerard, we're talking about the movie Sinners.
Hmm.
Just some of the things that stood out for us. We definitely want to get the
Right.
perspective of a filmmaker such as yourself. And a fan of
Mm.
film. And that's what I love about you. It's not a career for you, it's a commitment to the
Oh
art.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we would love to get
Oh yeah.
your perspective on the film itself or what stood out. I'm assuming you've seen it. I don't know. You're a busy man.
Oh, absolutely. And I saw it in the I saw it the way he said is the best way to see it, which is the 70 millimeter IMAX
Yes, me too.
version. They're only showing it in 10 places worldwide,
Mm.
and just happened to
Oh,
be one of the places happened to be Dallas. So
okay.
it was amazing. It was
All right.
amazing. One of the amazing things about Ryan and his career, um, he's found a way to represent blackness
Mm.
and put it in a space that's occupied outside of blackness, like starting with Black Panther. Well,
Mm-hmm.
first starting with Creed.
Fruitvale. Yep, yep.
Fruitvale Station is kind of staying in our own space, but
Right.
Creed is taking a white protagonist story that white people love and bringing it to us, bringing it to our hood, and telling it from
He
our
showed that he
perspective.
Jack Rocky.
So yes, he jacked Rocky, and with a great idea. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and Rocky down because he's always, even though the story is about the Italian stallion, he
Mm-hmm.
always made sure that he big up black people, black boxers in, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and he also
Right.
had very strong black protagonists. So
Right.
it's a it was going to be an easy sell. So, but yeah, he takes Creed, brings Creed to us, tells it from our
Yeah.
perspective, and then he was like the perfect person for Black Panther because it's already not many black people. I mean, I won't say not many, but yeah, there were more white people. I would say there were
Mm-hmm.
fans that knew of Black Panther before the
Right.
movie came out
Right.
and understood, what that meant for like the entire scope of things. So to have him come in, which was exciting, and then be so very African about it, unapologetically,
Mm-hmm.
and then two of those, and then come hit us with the Sinners. There's a diverse cast that tells a diverse story, and it's still blackity black, 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 black.
Right. Right.
So,
That's
Right.
and what's important about that, especially a lot of talk has been had about this deal he made, which is amazing. It's an
Mm-hmm.
amazing deal across the board for filmmakers across the board,
Right.
but even more so for black filmmakers. His career has been something that has helped black filmmakers be seen.
Okay.
Because there was always a conversation that's still happening, but to a lesser degree,
Mm-hmm.
about the sellability of black films. Will people go to
Okay.
a film that stars all black stars? Will they want to see a film that has a black story? Will they be
Mm-hmm.
invested in it? And it's like, of course they would. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Especially one where
life,
everybody's not smiling and tap dancing and
right?
and playing to the stereotypes we assume other people like to see us, jumping Jim Crow.
that's right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So he's definitely pushing that needle, saying, "Hey, I mean, all of his films, minus Fruitvale Station, have garnered over $100 million. So he's proven that
Mm-hmm.
there is a market for this, and being blackity black with
Right. Now, that being said, do you
it.
see this, and you alluded to it, do you see Sinners
Hmm.
or what Coogler's doing actually creating momentum and opening doors for more serious,
Oh,
authentic black stories to be told on a larger format, a larger
yeah.
platform?
Given the landscape of where we're at right now, uh, in America and race relations in America, that's a hard question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel very strongly that the universe looks for balance.
Okay.
So the moment we're in right now is like an offset balance of like Obama,
Mm.
right? We thought we was gonna have Obama without, we weren't gonna have to pay for that. We thought we was, post-racial world and all that. We wouldn't have to
Right.
pay for Obama. So I feel like we're in a space where we're compensating for Obama era. And there will be a space, especially with all the work that's being done to quelch DEI, quote on, and that's the code word black
Mm-hmm.
um, history and culture. There's going to be a balance is going to have to happen. You know, the
Okay.
thing is, we've already been here. This is what we've done for centuries. We've been dealing with negative, mis, and non representation for centuries. You know,
I say.
so and this is we make our space, and you know, the world we live in now, we're really ready to make our own space.
I say.
Um,
I say.
the
I say.
studio system, the
Hmm.
studio system is nice, and everybody, you know, most people that are filmmakers that haven't done anything in the film system
Right.
long for that.
Right.
So
Uh huh.
if they come and I'm able to do a film the way I want to do a film,
Right.
and not have to not quote unquote be even not even being offered, like, you know, presented with selling my soul,
Hmm.
then of course I would love to have because who doesn't want the backing of the studio system and the marketing and blah blah blah. All right, but we live in a Tubi era
Hmm.
where um, anybody that decides they want to make a film, as long as it's within certain parameters that are pretty loose, you can have your film distributed and be available for people to see.
I say.
Yeah.
Uh, pe-
Shay.
People say what they say about Tubi, and a lot of it's earned
Hmm.
because of that. Anybody that can get a camera, and anybody that wants to have their story, whether it's a good story or not, whether they're a
Hmm.
good storyteller or not, can make a film and have it out.
I
That
say.
also says to me, you can look at that, but that's, you know, it's like a glass half full, half empty thing. You
Hmm.
can look at it like that, but you could also look at it like anybody that wants to get their hands on a camera that is good at storytelling, um, that actually has put the work in, and you know, whatever it may be,
Hmm.
they can get their stories told also.
I say.
And you know, if it's something, and they can get whatever story they want. So if I want to tell a story that the system would say no to,
Hmm.
I still can tell that story and get it out to a mass group of people. And we haven't been in a place like that for a long time. Think about what a movie
Hmm.
like Drop Squad would have done
Right.
if it was
Right.
released in like a
Right.
Tubi era. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
That's
And
right.
I
Because
think that's
people wasn't
something.
ready for that.
Yes, and I love that you pointed that out because being independent is not necessarily a bad thing. It's
Right.
not a bad thing at all, right? And
At
I
all.
think sometimes we have to be careful that we don't get caught up in the glow of a
Mm-hmm.
single black success in that larger
Mm-hmm.
so-called mainstream system, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to see us get into that energy of being more worried about, are they going to get Oscars, right? Rather than
Right.
diverting people and saying, hey, there are more great stories being written over there,
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And go over there to get that story and support that
Right.
platform over
Right.
there, right?
Right.
As an independent filmmaker, is that something that you think about as well? Like, do I want to go to the system, or do I want to bring the finance, bring the people over here to where we are? Oscar
Oh
Michaud
man.
type mentality.
Oh man, all day, every day. My two first. I have two horror movies that I want to make that I'm working on. Then I have some other. I have like a faith based like family film
Hmm.
that I want to do as well. But
Hmm.
these two horror films are first of all very black, very controversial, and would say some things that I don't know that I could get studio to say yes to it.
Right.
But see, that's the thing. I can operate without worrying about it. I
Hmm.
say, you know, we've done this film, and this film cost us like 70,000. You know what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
know I could do a film within a budget that would be, you know, that still would be great. You know, then this is the proof of it. So we could do that and be free to tell whatever story we want to and make a name for ourselves and worry less about getting Oscars and worry about getting some impact, like making an
I
actual
say.
impact. I'm in like the frame of mind. Uh, I can't remember the context of this, but someone was talking about. I think they were talking about music, and they're talking
Hmm.
about how black people pass music down. Like, man, you got to listen to this Marvin Gaye um, album. You got to listen to this. This is what's going on. Like, it's going to
Right.
change your life, and we pass that down. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
we also do that with films. Like, if you ain't seen The
Right.
Wiz, you need to sit down right
Right.
now and watch this. This is, and then there's you before The Wiz, and then there's you after The Wiz, right?
Right.
I want to make a legacy of work that people would think of as like heirlooms.
Mm-hmm.
that you would say anybody that you don't know, and especially family or someone that's special to you, you're like, oh my God, you have to see this film.
I
Check
say.
this out.
One of
So
them, it got to be in every. It
that's
got
where
to
we
be in
want.
every one of them. It got to be in every black household type films. Right,
Right,
right.
right.
One of those. Right,
It's right
right,
there with the Black Jesus.
right. The Black Jesus picture. Right.
I
Okay.
don't know if that's even there anymore. That's old school.
From Good Times. You know, everybody know the Good Times episode with Michael put Black Jesus on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so all right, y'all, let's do something fun right quick, okay? We're talking about sinners, and I think this is going to be one of those films that if you black, you've seen Sinners,
Absolutely.
right? Well, let's think of
Right.
some other films, and I'm gonna start with you, Baba. Let's think of some other films. Finish this sentence. If you black, you've seen.
The spook that sat by the door.
Okay. I'm with that. I'm
Yeah.
with that.
You better have seen it. That's what
You
you
better
have
have
to say
seen it.
about that.
So y'all listening. If you haven't seen the spook who sat by the door, you're a little light brown. You need to go ahead and get that. You need to go get that. Okay, I'm coming to you,
It's a
Gerard.
movie. Hold on, let me say something about that. It's a
Okay.
movie so enlightening, so revolutionary that they banned it in countries, and they
Yes,
had to like re-release it years later. The
that's
book too.
right.
So
That's
that
right.
tell you something. If a revolutionary group of brothers is telling you you need to go see Spook Who Sat
That's
by the
right.
Door, you
Spook
need
who
to
sat
see
by the door. All right, all right. So Gerard, if you
it.
black, you've seen
I mean, Color Purple or something, you know.
Color Purple. All right, Color Purple what? Color Purple is what? Color Purple is what? Yeah, man. I remember I was dating in Koyo, and when we were dating, and we had a big fight over Color Purple. He kicked me out of the house. Man, don't ever argue with Celie or Sophia in front of black women when Color Purple is on. That's all I got to say. Don't stand up for any man in Color Purple. You'll be in instant trouble. I was there trying to identify, man, what did Mister go through? It don't matter what Mister. Yeah, he kicked me out of the house, man. Out there, we broke up for a couple of months behind Color Purple. But
Your
that's
turn. Your turn, Baba. Your turn.
okay.
If
If you black, you've seen Harlem Nights.
Ashe.
Come on.
To me, that's a black
I
staple.
say,
That's a
Yeah.
black staple.
hey,
Harlem
That's
Nights.
right.
Period piece is sinners with all comedians.
That's right.
all right.
You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? So you've done that, you know. But another one I would throw out there though, every black family got to have the 5 heartbeats.
Yes.
Absolutely.
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 You
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. I want to say one.
Okay.
Here's Sinners in the 70s. Ganja and Hess.
Oh, that's a classic. I got hip to Ganja and Hess just like a few years ago.
Okay.
And
I
if
haven't seen
you want to go down the line, of course,
Mm,
Blackula, Ganja and Hess, Death by Temptation,
mm.
Vampire in
I remember
Brooklyn,
I remember
Vampire in
Death by
Brooklyn,
Temptation.
JD's
Yeah.
Revenge.
Yeah.
As
JD's.
far as black horror films, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
this is cool, man, because we're letting people know this ain't nothing new. We've been telling our story on
Oh
film
no.
since there's been film.
That's right.
Oh no.
And I got
Because
Yeah,
I
I've
got a
been wanting to
question
do
for
like
you.
a black horror, uh, like a matinee or just a watch show. You know what I'm saying? Where you just watch
right,
movie after movie. Because
right.
I got a lot of black horror.
And I got
Oh,
another one for you.
okay.
Sankofa.
Oh yeah,
Woo, come
oh
on.
yeah. Holly Germa, Sankofa,
Yeah.
powerful,
Sankofa.
powerful film, man. Powerful film,
Yeah.
a must see if you black.
Must see.
Now, Bobby,
Yeah.
you trying to bring people on into the movement with your selections?
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
right.
You
I'm
try
just saying.
you trying to bring people on into the movement with your
Hey,
selections,
You
man.
you said fun, and he was like, "Nah, man, this is what's fun to me."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that, y'all. Everybody in the chat,
Yep.
people out there, what's your must see black film? Put that in the comments. What's your must see black film? If you black, you got to see what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just a shout out to all the great talent that's out there, mainstream and independent, that have
Mm-hmm.
put in the work over the years. Yes.
I tell you this, Baba. When I was in high school, umpteen years ago, you wasn't black unless you saw Roots.
Hmm.
Okay. Yep, I wasn't quite in high school yet, you know what I'm saying? But even
That
as a
movie,
Man.
small child, I remember when
yeah,
Roots came out because it was one of the first times that slavery was depicted.
that's right.
You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? On film
There were
like
a
that, where
lot of
they humanized the Africans who were enslaved.
yes, there were a lot
I,
of Caucasians in fear of their life during that time.
Mm,
mm,
okay.
wow.
Yeah,
I'm from
I'll hit you
Texas,
with.
so I think they was comfortable. But out here,
no,
where you got three
not
black
here.
people per every white person, I think they lying about the population percentages out here, man. I don't see nothing but black folks out here, so I can imagine what South Carolina was like in the Roots era. And y'all had them
Yes,
afros, and yeah, I
that's
can
right.
imagine.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
I think
That
the watch event that I
had
know of,
immigration.
the black movie watch event during when I think it was probably in middle school when this came out, is Shaka Zulu.
Oh man,
Yes,
look here. You know,
yes.
we loved and hated Shaka Zulu at the same time. We loved
Woo!
Shaka Zulu, but we were still struck with colorism, so he also became a high side.
That's right.
So he
That's
was
right.
strong. I wanted to be Shaka Zulu, but then people was telling me, "With your black self looking like Shaka Zulu."
There you go.
Right,
That's
right.
right.
But Shaka Zulu was a must see. That was a must
Yeah,
see. Yeah,
Woo!
yeah.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. We need more must see
Hmm.
movies, right? Look,
Yeah.
Daughters of the
Man,
Dust. Shout out to Obafemi.
yep.
You know, shout out
Hey,
Smokey Set
yes.
by the Door, Daughters of the Dust. Great films,
Hmm.
y'all. It's important. And I'm gonna last question for you, Gerard. And I appreciate your time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
How important is it that we tell our own stories and put them on film?
It's it's absolutely important. Even a bad film that gets
Mm-hmm.
out is a snapshot of our era, a snapshot
I
of the
say.
time that it comes out. You know what I mean? It's a snapshot of what's important to us. It's a snapshot of just the era, especially if they go out and film and you see like the town or whatever. Um, as a people who come from a magnificent griot uh, culture,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we do. This is part of that.
I
And
say.
it's very important to tell our stories from our perspective, by our hand, crafted by ourselves. Like it's super important because there are certain things that people can be um, blind to.
Mm-hmm.
They have blind spots. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to name the film or whatever, but I was at a festival and this filmmaker made a film about slavery. And one of the questions posed was, "What did you do to manage trauma on site?" Because they
Mm.
did the actual film in an actual slave community that had been preserved, so they were actually out there where this could have taken place, and doing these things that you can just imagine because how horrible slavery was,
Right, right.
and the response was, "Oh no, we had a great time. Kids was out laughing and running around, and they didn't
Mm.
even know we just." And so it's like, okay, that's the blind spot. You don't really understand, so you don't even
Right,
know. So it's
right.
important that we herald those because um, it's a tricky thing to talk about, especially when we talk about the kind of trauma and stuff that we've gone through. It's a tricky thing to talk about that and make sure that you're not re-traumatizing yourself.
I say.
That you're not going through so much trauma, and to some degree, to get the real meaning and try to like really tap into uh, a performance that you can actually say represents that well. It's kind of hard to avoid it, but then you want to be able to have some kind of self care on the flip side.
I say.
So there's that. There's also whether I think all stories should be told, but there's always context as
Mm-hmm.
well, context and timing.
Right,
Um, so you have to be able to have that kind of thing too. Like, is this the right time for this to come out?
right, right,
Is am I presenting it in the right context? You
right.
know, uh, it's like Judas and the Black Messiah. It's like, do we really need a film about this cat before we have a film about Fred Hampton?
Right,
But
Right.
you
right.
know,
Before we get a film
Right.
about Fred, we get a film about the sellout that got him killed. Right,
Right.
right, 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 right. Man,
you know,
excellent,
and you know,
excellent.
there's
Yeah,
also a film in the works about the guy that ratted on Marcus Garvey as well.
right, right.
You know, but that didn't make it. Ours came out first, so we did a film first
Boom,
that's Garvey
There you go.
centric.
beat
We
him,
got that out
beat him
first.
to the punch. That's what I'm
So
talking about.
so we are forever the scale that you have to be measured by.
I
And I say
say,
that
I say.
laughing, but I truly believe it and I truly receive it, and I am proud of what we did so that we
Mhm.
could. I feel that we made a work that can be up to being measured against. So you
I
know
say,
that's
I
that.
say. Hey, and for those of you out there, if you have not seen Mosiah the movie, definitely go check that out. It's streaming on
Please
Amazon
do.
Prime right now. Go to mosiahthemovie.com. You know what I'm saying? Might
Mm-hmm.
be coming to a film festival near you.
That's
But support
Yep.
independent black film, right, in the
Yes.
spirit of what Ryan Coogler has been able to achieve in
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood. Those stories, right, are being told
Yes.
throughout the world, right? And if you like
Mm-hmm.
that story, there are some other stories out here that could use our
Mm-hmm.
support. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
Gerard, thank you for coming through, man.
My pleasure.
Congratulations on your
Anytime.
continued success. But I know you want to get back to that beautiful family, and thank you for taking time out and joining the First Majority, brother. Much success to you.
My absolute
all right,
pleasure. Thank
Gerard.
you guys
Take
for
care
giving
now.
me. Oh yes, sir. You take care too.
All right, man. Take it easy,
All
man.
right.
Appreciate you. All right. Bob, we ain't finna talk about no black movie and don't bring in an actual black filmmaker to help us with the
That's right.
discussion. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Yes.
And
Yes.
and,
That's
and
right.
to close us out, Baba, he mentioned, a movie being able to depict our trauma in a way
Yeah.
that's believable. But
Yeah.
also he talked about the residual effects it could have on those who play the role.
That's right. Well,
Right?
it's funny you should say that because while he was talking, three three movies came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
One was a comedy, and but they were low budget movies.
Mm-hmm.
One was called Strictly Business.
I remember Strictly Business.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it showed the evidence of how much pooling our money together to make things happen for our community, but also getting rid of the stereotypes that came along with that as well.
Okay.
I appreciated that movie.
I say.
Yeah, another one was called The Stick Up Kids.
Okay. I haven't seen the Stick Up Kids.
Oh, it's a powerful movie, but it has some history that's associated with that,
Okay.
as well as community and collective and bargaining with each other.
All right.
So I was thinking about those movies, and the thing about it, uh, the brother that played in Sounder, Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Hooks,
Okay.
he played in a show called The White Shadow.
I
I don't know
remember
if you
that
remember
show
that.
long time
Yeah,
ago. Right.
long time ago. So he directed Strictly Business, and he played in Sounder. But there was a sister. I think her name is Lisa Trotter, who directed the Stick Up Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I'm thinking about, again, more black directors and filmmakers that are bringing a positive aspect to us, but we don't have the platforms to be able to bring them into real time to our people and in our community.
Well, one platform that's out there right now, I have a membership with it, and I'm putting it in the chat right now. It's called Kweli.tv.
Okay.
Kweli.tv, KWELI.tv. I put it in the chat. It's a black owned streaming platform where you can find independent black films from all over the world, past and present,
Gotcha.
documentaries, feature films, short films, the whole lot. It's a monthly
Right.
subscription, about $6 a month, right?
Okay.
And when I tell you it's some black cinema gold, it's the five heartbeats ain't on there. These gonna
Okay.
be the three heartbeats might be on there, but the five heartbeats ain't on there. right? But these are going to be quality, but they are quality films that tell powerful stories from all over the world on Quayle.tv. So I'm giving that platform a plug, you know what I'm saying, tonight for those who are looking for more independent films. Closing out on Sinners and our conversation about Sinners. My prayer is definitely right out for those who played those roles. Delroy Lindo did such a powerful job.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
that scene riding down the road, passing the chain gang, and he
That's
hold your
right.
head up, hold your head up, and then
That's
and
right.
then he tells the story of how his friend was lynched. You know,
That's
and
right.
that scene was so powerful. You can't walk away from that as an actor and it not
No,
impact you.
and then he also started. I say he went into spirit
Hmm.
and he started humming and hitting that
Right.
and hitting that, giving you that beat. And
Hmm.
that's when Stack told the guy, you need to play that. You need to play with that. Because
Right.
they didn't go into it, and because that was the time to where Spirit was leading again to say, this is your time.
Right.
This is
Right.
your
Right.
time.
Right. Right. And
Take
there's so
advantage of
many.
opportunities.
Yes. There's so many powerful scenes in this movie that we could break down.
Yes.
We got to come back and do a part two,
Yes.
or do one something totally different where we just talk about the scenes and really go into it. You know, because there's so
Yes.
many lessons that you can
That's
draw
right.
from Sinners. But you know what I'm saying, and so.
Yes.
But I would be very interested in any interviews that are out there with some of the actors and actresses to see how they were able to come through this experience, right?
That's right.
And find balance again
That's
after
right.
such an intense film. Because yes,
That's
there are vampires in the film, but it's so much more than a vampire movie.
yeah. The
It's really
vampire
not a
was
vampire movie.
they was using vampire as a metaphor.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So,
it was a metaphor.
right, it was a metaphor. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. But also make sure you're gleaning lessons from anything that you watch, right?
That's
That
right.
you can apply to everyday life. Hey, again, we looking forward to the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest and Parade, Saturday, June 21st, 2025, downtown Columbia. Free admission. We're going to be black next week with another episode of the First Majority Podcast. Great job, Bob.
Great job, Bob. Well, I appreciate you, man. You're a powerful brother, and I am truly humbled by your presence.
Oh, black man, that's what I'm talking about. Do we
Yeah.
got that on record? I need to record. That's gonna be the clip I put up on social media. All right, then.
Okay.
That's, no, no, man. The feeling is mutual. Feeling is mutual. Hey, y'all, go spend some time with your families. Rest up and get ready to have a powerful Friday. This has been the First Majority Podcast. I just want to say peace and blessings.
Peace and power.
I say.
I say.